T2, crazy, just like T1, drop the bike off. I love how you can hand the bike, they rack it, you go running in. I went in, grabbed my T2 bag, go in, I changed out of my bottoms, put on my running shorts, put on my shoes, I took mouthwash, and this is the best trick that Dawn English ever taught me. Mouthwash, rinse your mouth to get all that sugar off of your teeth going into the run. And then I also have a mouthwash during special needs, and it's phenomenal. So I go into T2, and all of a sudden I was like, just something happened, a click happened. I was like, you know what, Rulon? You have no idea where you're at in your placement. Doesn't matter. You're done with the bike. You're done with the swim. You got to go do the run. You know what? The run is your jam. And all of a sudden I was like, let's go. Here's the thing. Probably went out way too fast, but in the long run, I'm okay that I did that. So the run course we explain it as like a balloon. So you went down the string of the balloon, but then you went around the balloon 3 times, and the balloon was the lake, Lake Evo, where we swam. So that was the balloon. But there were so many twists and turns on that run course, and so many turns in between neighborhoods, around schools. It was awful to get into a pattern to run. If you look at a lot of the times that people did for the marathon, you'll know that it was some fast runners did not have a fast run because of that course, because of the twists and turns. And here's something else that I've noticed that I heard on Slow Twitch on the forum, is that there was a guy that did a 9:45 Ironmans, and he's done 15-hour Ironmans. And he was saying that has got to be one of the hardest run courses that he's ever done, because you do, when you do the second and third, after you do the first loop and the second loop, you go past the finish line twice. So it's such a mental thing, because you hear Mike Riley saying, "You are an Ironman." And I'm like, oh my God, I got another 6 miles to run. How the hell am I going to be an Ironman? There's no freaking way. Here's the thing. My first 13, about, I would say 15 miles I was good. I was hauling ass. I will actually post my Strava splits, because I was having a really good run. I was going from 8:15s to 8:30s, and that's exactly what I wanted to hold going into this race. No matter if I had a flat or if I didn't, those were the times that I wanted to hold. I wanted to do about a 3:40 marathon, but with those twists and turns, there was no way that was going to happen. Here's the thing. I had a better race in Kona than I did at Florida. I mean, that's including the flat. But anyways, it happens, right? The time's a time. Nothing I can change about it. So the run, that string felt amazing. I heard Bruno Mars on the radio. I was singing. I felt great. I started taking in my nutrition about every 3 miles. And this is something that I messed up in my training. When I was training at Mont Tremblant, I would do 2 squirts of liquid shots, first endurance liquid shots. I would do 2 squirts at 25 and 50. At the top of the hour, I would also take in a gel, and it was usually a Huma gel. The first 2 hours were no caffeine. The last 2 were caffeine, because I was looking to get about a 3.5 hour run. That's where I messed up, because I take in about 200 calories per hour on the run, and I didn't. I was taking in less, and I think that really caused a lot of me slowing down. I had some GI distress, and I was dehydrated. It was a lot humid and a lot hotter than I anticipated. It felt amazing. Like I said, I went down the string, went around the loop, run around the balloon. The first time I saw my mom, and my mom was like, whoa, oh my gosh, yay, Jen. Like, cause I was flying, I was hauling butt. I get past them, I get past everybody, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, my stomach started upsetting. I was like, ooh, I better go to the bathroom. So I found a porta potty, I was fine, took off. So then my nutrition started dying off a little bit. So then I wasn't taking in as much as I should have. Because by this time, going into my second lap around the lake or around the balloon, I was at 125. So I was doing really well. So then I go around and then I see Chris in the beach party aid station, and he's like, oh my gosh, you're on your third lap. I'm like, no babe, I'm on my second. He was on his third. He thought I was passing him on the course, and that was what he feared. Heading up to this race, he goes, you're gonna beat me. I'm like, no, I'm not. So I think when he saw me, he's like, oh no. But no, he was on his third, I was on my second, and he didn't know I flatted. I go, I had a flat. He's like, oh shit. So then I go around to the beach party, grab my nutrition, I see him, I catch up to him, and he was walking, and I started walking. Oh, I didn't walk until then. But then I saw him, and I was like, why are you walking? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. You know, he goes, I've been trying to do 6 run, 1 off. I was like, okay. So then we started running again. And then he was picking it up a little bit, and I couldn't hold with them. And then I thought, okay, I got to start running again. So it was just very back and forth with each other. And I told him, I'm like, so then we saw our friend, Mark Cerrone. Mark told me on that first balloon that I was in 12th. Second balloon, I was in 8th. And then the wheels of the bus fell off. I got to about, I think, mile 17, and Chris at that time already passed me, and I put my hands down and I started crying. No, Chris did not pass me yet, because he was walking, running, and we were sort of going back and forth, and I just started crying, and my body just hurt. Everything hurt. I was upset. I was frustrated. I didn't want to finish. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I doing this? This is fucking stupid. And so then all of a sudden a guy walks past me, and he's like, come on, you got to be tough. You got to mentally be tough. I'm like, yeah. Okay, fine. So I started walking, and then Chris runs past me. So at this time, I think he's at maybe 23, 24. I was like, you have to push. Because then he got word from Mark that he was in 5th. And so I said, you need to push harder. So anyways, I get to going back around where I saw my mom the first time, and where you see the finish line and you hear Mike Riley talking. I get my special needs bag, but prior to that, there was a bathroom, and my stomach was killing me so bad that I actually I probably took at least 3 minutes in there to take care of things. I don't know what was going on. Got my special needs, got my mouthwash, took in some Cliff blocks because I knew that was going to help me. And so I thought, okay, I see my mom, and I just said, I'm hurting so bad. I crashed and burned, and I just told her I was sorry, because I felt like I failed not only myself, but I feel like I failed my family and my friends and those that follow me. I felt like I failed you guys for not having the race that I wanted. And it hurt so bad. And she goes, what are you gonna do? And I said, I'm gonna finish this damn thing. I can't go and explain to my niece, my 10-year-old niece, why I quit. I can't come and talk to you guys and say, well, I quit because it was hard. I quit because I had a flat tire. I quit because whatever excuse there is, right? And so I knew I couldn't quit. I knew I couldn't quit. I go past the finish line again, and I see Raquel, and she's on the team along with Adrian. Adrian was out there doing his first Ironman. I'm so proud he did it. And I saw her, and she starts talking like we're having a good old conversation. I'm like, hey, I could talk, but not that long, you know? And so I take off, and I thought to myself, okay, you just have to go mile to mile. You got to take the nutrition in, and if your stomach is bothering you, there will be porta potties for you. There will be whatever there might be for you to help you out. And if you shart, yes, shart. FYI, never trust a fart in an Ironman triathlon. Anyways, I see people are cheering me on. Go Jen, go Coach Jen. Base performance was phenomenal. And I just said to myself, okay, you gotta keep moving. And so it was interesting because I go back into the beach party, and there's this kid sitting on the chair, and he's like, good job, way to go. And I see this other guy, and we both start walking, and I go, yeah, I guess it's all relative, isn't it? And he goes, yeah. I go, yeah, because here I am on my third lap, and I'm hurting. And he goes, well, lucky you, I'm on my second lap. And he goes, it is all relative. And so we just started laughing, we were talking, and I was like, okay, I told myself at 0.5 I was going to take off and run again. And he's like, okay, see you later. So we went back and forth, and that was great. But anyways, I got to mile 23, and I thought, okay, you have a 5K to go. You need to run. And so everything hurt, you guys. I mean, my knees, my ankle, my calves. My calf was even a little tight from that cramp in the water. My ischial tuberosity on my left side was bothering me. My right SI joint was bothering me. My tightness from on the bike. And yes, even my earlobe was bothering me. Joking. I get to mile 24, and I thought, okay, you have 2 miles to go, 2.2, you can do this. So I took in some Cliff Bars, or Cliff Blocks. I took in the gingers, because those taste good, felt good on the belly. I took in Coke. I started taking Coke in about mile, I think 15, because that's really when I needed that. I took in base salts. They had chicken broth, they had pretzels, but nothing of that sounded good. And I get to mile 25 knowing that, okay, you're there, just run it out. So I was shuffling, I was running, wasn't making any times at all. Long story short, I crossed the finish line just like I do every time I cross that finish line, no matter how shitty of a race that I have had, is that I raised my hands up in the air with that huge ass smile, and I heard Mike Riley take the microphone from the other announcer and saying, Jennifer Rulon, you are an Ironman. And that just made my night. That just made my day that he was there. And I did it. I did it. And you guys, you don't know how bad I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit so bad. 2 minutes into that bike, I was ready to be done. I was ready to walk down that hill, go grab a mimosa with mom and mom-in-law, and watch Chris and my athletes come in, because that would have been a lot more enjoyable. But then how can I explain to my team, those that I coach, my team that I coach, my niece, my nephew, my family, how can I explain to them when I said that I quit because it was hard? Fuck yeah, it's hard. It's a fucking Ironman. 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, 26.2 miles. I did it. It was my 14th Ironman. And I have clocked over 1,900 miles just in racing alone with my 14 Ironmans. I gotta look at that and be like, shit, yo, I accomplished that. What's next, you may ask? I don't know. I'm going to enjoy the next 2 weeks without training, work on the business, work on getting some new Rulon racers in for 2019, keep those that I have because I love my tribe and I'm going to love them hard these next 2 months. I got athletes still doing Arizona. I had 2 athletes accomplish Florida on a very tough course, especially that run. That run was tough, tough, tough. I honestly think this race was harder for me than the race that I qualified at Ironman Mont Tremblant in 2017. Swear to God, 100%. It was a much harder mental. Physically, I was in the best fucking shape of my life. Mentally, I just proved that I am mentally tough, tougher than I could ever have imagined. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I did it. I fucking did my 14th Ironman. I know there's a lot more people out there that have done crazy amount of Ironmans, way more than me. But I wanted to share with you guys that the lesson learned for me out there is that when the going gets tough, Jen Rulon doesn't fucking quit. And she's not going to. Because if I don't quit, that means you're not going to quit. All right, friends. Have a great week. We'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for watching.